herbal tea out today. I'll move this a little bit. But I got the herbal tea out today. If my voice sounds a little hoarse, I'm sorry, y'all. I woke up today with a sore throat, so that's the reason why I'm drinking my herbal tea, even though I need to be doing that normally. But I went to 2 childcare sites. One was my old job. One of the girls is leaving, and I wanted to say bye to her. And then the other one, I was touring with my niece and my nephew and their mom. So I have been to 2 children locations, and if anybody knows anything about kids are breeding grounds for all types of germs and bacteria. And me and my habits, like, I touch my face, I pick at my nails, sometimes I bite my nails. I have been doing pretty good about not biting my nails. This hand is doing okay, this hand is not, so there's no telling what I did to myself, but I don't blame them at all. So if my voice sounds a little hoarse, that is the reason why. But we are going to stick it out, and we're going to get this through, because I have things I got to talk about. First of all, like, we got things we got to talk about. And I feel like this is very beneficial, because I was trying to figure out, what was the topic for today, what we were going to talk about, and how we were going to further our support and us understanding that this lifestyle is important, it's essential, and it's key. And I feel like the topic that we need to touch on and touch base with is common plant-based questions. I feel like we have to get the common questions that people have, the kind of unknown questions that people have, out of the way, so that you don't feel like that you're just starting from ground zero, so that you have a stable foundation for you to at least build off of, for you to understand what the lifestyle is looking like, and what and how you can benefit from it, and what you can benefit from it. So the first thing we're going to go over is, what exactly is living a plant-based lifestyle? You living a plant-based lifestyle is you understanding that, first of all, vegan and plant-based are not the same thing. We're just going to address that first, because I stepped into the lifestyle thinking they were the same thing, and they're not the same thing. Living a vegan lifestyle versus a plant-based lifestyle, in my opinion, in my experience, is vegans don't really mind or care about different processed foods or processed chemicals. They will eat whatever, as long as it has no animal products in it. Excuse me. And as long as it's sustainable to, the environment. However, living a plant-based lifestyle, it's you not only caring about the environment, the animals, but also you caring about yourself. So you're not consuming these processed foods that have a bunch of additives, fillers, toxic chemicals inside of them that are harming you. You understanding what is going in your body and what's on your body. Both lifestyles are going to look at the fact that if they do animal testing, if they have any animal products, as far as like gelatin, any type of things like that come from animal products, they're not going to use. But living a plant-based lifestyle, you're going to focus more on real, holistic, natural things. You're going to be focusing on not having chemicals inside of your products for you to wash your body, wash your face, for you to not have chemicals and toxic chemicals and ingredients inside of your food. Focusing on holistic methods for healing, because vegans can take, not majority of medicine, because a lot of medicine has gelatin and animal products in it, but they can just go out and they can just go get some Tylenol or whatever and take it, because at the end of the day, they're not focused on them healing themselves, or rather just protecting the environment and protecting animals. But living a plant-based lifestyle, you're no longer going to go out and you're no longer going to take Tylenol. You're no longer going to go get the Alka-Seltzer Pluses and all these other things that are medication prescribed to you by these doctors. But rather, you're going to start to learn that things like Tylenol, Advil, they have herbs in them like white willow bark. And white willow bark is a painkiller. It's an amazing natural painkiller that is going to support you in being healthy. It's going to support you in staying healthy. And if you're feeling like you're in pain, it's quick acting as the same as you taking a Tylenol, or Advil, or whatever else pain pill that you have to take. Because if you look at the ingredients, that is the main key ingredient. And then they add chemicals with the herb. So it's not healing you, but it's just momentarily keeping you passive so that the pain can pass for the moment, but it's not healing you from the inside. If you were taking the straight herb, you are allowing your body to not only be getting through the situation, and let's say it's a painful situation, to minimize the pain so that you're feeling better, but to also be able to start healing yourselves, because there are different properties of healing when it comes to herbs. And if you were doing that with herbs, you're doing that with your food because you're eating real whole foods, you're not eating toxic ingredients, your body is in a healthy state and it's allowed to heal, and you are supporting yourself in healing, and you are allowing your body to stay illness free and disease free. So that touches on the topic of what in the world is exactly a plant-based lifestyle, and debunking the vegan versus the plant-based lifestyle, but also getting into what are the benefits? What are the health benefits that you get from this? Because if you are living a lifestyle of you supporting your body, you are not going to sit here and suffer. You're not going to sit here and be developing different illnesses, having symptoms of illnesses, and developing diseases, and leaving this earth earlier than what you're designed to and what you're supposed to. And so there are so many different health benefits. Like, just from me speaking from my experience, I allowed myself to be healed from my asthma symptoms that I was having, because I had developed workout induced asthma, and it was really like bad. It had gotten pretty bad. It wasn't like just me just doing normal regular things and me getting worked up, but like if I got too hot, if it was too cold, if I was trying to exercise, like if I did not take my inhaler like they suggested me to do beforehand, and then after, I'm coughing, I can't breathe. If I'm doing physical activity, I can't breathe during it. If I'm sitting there in the cold weather for whatever reason, because I could be in the heat and be sediment and be cool, but if I was in a cold setting, I could not breathe. Like, heal myself from asthma symptoms, heal myself from sitting here being inflamed constantly dealing with excess bloating and excess fat, and from that inflammation having knee pain, because my knees have been killing me since middle school. It was before 8th grade. Like, I want to say it was 6th grade that I started having knee pain. And I was told when I was graduating, going to college, that I was thinking about going to play college volleyball. And they were telling me that if I played in the college volleyball, I would have to have a knee transplant by 22. And I was not doing that. I didn't want surgeries before I was in this lifestyle, and I definitely don't want them now. So I decided to give up volleyball because I did not want to have a knee surgery, not realizing it was because I was so inflamed on the inside that it was pressing my knee joints the wrong direction, and they were telling me my knee was shifting the wrong direction, but weren't telling me it was because I was inflamed. And so I allowed myself to heal from many, many different issues. I had anxiety. I was in and out of depression episodes. And it was all stemming from the food that I was eating, because all of this stems from the food that you were eating. If you are sitting here malnourished, like majority of society is, because you're eating a whole bunch of junk, you're eating inflammatory foods like inflammatory dairy, you're eating a whole bunch of GMO meats, you're eating all these meats that are not supporting you, because majority of meat is fed GMOs anyway. Regardless, these animals are fed GMO corn, GMO soy, because they're easy to produce. They're GMO, so it's not like they're really spending that much. And then on top of that, they're viable plant products, so they're hardy. They're not gonna be sitting here wilting and all these things, and they're not having to take a whole lot of care of them. So they're feeding these animals, and you are eating that animal meat. So you are still consuming the GMO product, and that's leaving you inflamed. So you have to understand that in order for you to be in a healthy state, you have to stop consuming the way that you are, and you have to get back to the basics of real whole food, which are fruits and vegetables, living a plant-based lifestyle. And so you're sitting here thinking, and another question that is common is people are sitting here like, okay, so how and can I get the essential nutrients that I need without meat, without dairy? And the answer is yes, because you have to understand and look at the fact that when back in the day, before people had meat as accessible as we do, and they were actually having to, go out, find animals to actually slaughter, go find the meat. And if they didn't, then that's not what they were going to eat tonight. They would have to find other substitutes, beans and all these other things as sources of proteins. You have to understand that they weren't malnourished. They weren't sitting there starving. They knew that there was other healthier alternatives for them. Meat was something that they used, and it became a celebration. And so you have to understand that fruits and vegetables were put here for our key nutrients. Meat was put here for a celebration, and dairy was never meant for us to be consuming. We were never meant to consume another animal's milk. They started mass producing milk as a way for farmers to make money, a way for the government to keep, first of all, keep their tabs on the industry of the farming industry, and then to also incentivize, I'm trying to think, give them an incentive for them to keep producing these things so that they can, one, keep us inflamed, two, make more money into the government. And because, the school system and everything else, they all promote dairy, and is a reason why in all these industries promote more dairy. That's the reason why, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, all these things, they have cheese on top of cheese on top of cheese in their products, because they literally pay them, and it's fact, you can look it up, they paid them to start making stuffed crust cheese because it gets you more addicted to cheese. It gets you eating more cheese. And everybody knows, and I think everybody on this earth has tried a stuffed crust cheese something, stuffed cheesy bread something. And it's the reason why is because they make way more dairy. They were making way more dairy than they were selling. And so what they started doing was advertising it to the public, because the dairy industry was going downhill. These farmers were told by the government to make all of this dairy, to start giving people all this dairy. And then when people stopped consuming dairy, or they weren't consuming enough, the government realized that they had messed up, and they couldn't give these farmers their money back. They couldn't give them the money that they needed, because the government needed them to make them more money. And so in reality, what they started doing is advertising to the consumer, started selling you dairy. They started telling you it was a healthy alternative. They lied to you and started telling you it gives you strong bones. They started giving you all these things, just like the Got Milk campaign. When we know now, and we can look back and see, and it says it in fact, that they just promoted all the stuff for the Got Milk campaign just to get you to buy in. There was actually no health benefits. None of the benefits that they told you were actually true. And so you have to understand that you getting nutrients does not come from dairy. It does not come from me. They have lied to you, and they're openly telling you, but you don't want to do any research, because somebody on the FDA, the CDC, tells you it's okay to do in moderation. That they tell you that on a food pyramid, and my plate, that it's okay for you to eat. And so you're sitting here and you're thinking that there's no way that you can get the key vitamins and the key nutrients and minerals that you need every single day for fruits and vegetables from plants. And that's not true. You have been misled. And the common question that I always get all the time is, how do you get protein? How do you make sure that you're getting enough protein? There is plenty of protein that comes from plant-based, and you are not lacking, and you will not be lacking if you're eating a full rainbow plate. You will get all the nutrients that you need if you are focusing on eating your fruits and your vegetables, if you're focusing in on what you need for yourself. And so you have to understand that if you are in a space where you're like, okay, so I would like to do this, I don't want to lose weight, or I would like to do this and I do want to lose weight, it's all about how you are eating, because we are so focused on diet culture. We're so focused on, quick facades that are going to help us lose weight fast, us to be able to, do the starvation diet for a little bit, calorie count for a little bit, and it worked, and we lose weight, and we're going to do with this or whatever, or gain weight by eating all this protein. We're doing all these protein shakes. We're sitting here, taking smoothies, just a whole bunch of extra things that is not authentic to me, and I know it's not authentic to a lot of people. And so you're sitting here trying different protein powders, all these things if you want to gain weight, or maybe you're trying to lose weight and you're just like, this protein powder is going to be my substitute for my protein for the day, and you don't even like it. And so you're trying all these different expensive protein powders, trying to figure out which one tastes better. They're all chalky or whatever else. They taste grainy. And you're sitting here and you're not enjoying the lifestyle that you're living, because you are not authentically supporting yourself. And so if whether you're wanting to lose weight or gain weight, you have to understand, first of all, there is no diet culture that's going to get you through this. You have to understand that you getting proteins, healthy fats, making sure your iron is stable, like getting your key minerals is going to support you. If you want to gain weight, you're going to have to eat more protein. You have to have protein regardless. But if you're trying to lose weight, you need to eat a little bit more. I say if you were trying to gain weight, because to maintain, I do about like double to triple of the protein that I eat. To lose, I eat probably one portion of protein. If you were trying to gain weight, you're going to have to eat protein with every single meal that you eat, some type of protein. I usually eat a big meal with at least one big meal with protein, if not two, because I usually eat about 1-2 meals a day, and then I eat a snack. So it's like I don't really eat a whole lot unless I am closer to like my cycle time, that I'm in my sporadic. My cravings go crazy, but it depends. Like which my cravings aren't like how they used to be, where it was like I'm craving chocolate, I'm craving a bunch of junk. I usually just crave food. Like I just need nutrients, and my body wants to eat because it needs nutrients. And so I give it like healthy things. Like if I want a kale salad with some chickpeas, if I want some hummus, if I want bread products, that I start to give myself like a black bean burger, like things like that. Just ways for me to support myself and support my body, because I'm listening to my body and I understand that my body needs these things. And I know that I need more nutrients certain times of the month. I know that I need more vitamins and minerals. And if I'm trying to lose weight or gain weight, I vary my lifestyle that way. I don't just do a diet, a momentary starvation diet, because that does not support you. It will not stick. You will be upset and hungry. And there's no reason to do that to yourself. When you have a way to support yourself, you just have to change your habits. And so you have to understand that if you are sitting here and you're feeling like this is not supporting you, that you're not vibrant, that you have no energy, that you're feeling like you're starving, you're sitting here and you're feeling like that, you're doing this for a little bit, you're like, man, I'm hungry, it's not working. It's because you are not giving yourself the nutrients that you need. Because you should not be feeling sluggish. You should not, in the beginning, it's going to happen because you're switching. But you should not be sitting here feeling like that you're having to up your coffee intake. You're sitting here, you're feeling like you aren't getting enough nutrients and you're starving. You're feeling like you're struggling to live with this lifestyle. You're just struggling overall, because this lifestyle is not a struggle. And if you are struggling, there's an imbalance, and you need to get support so that you can figure out what that imbalance is. And whether that support is coming from you doing your own research, which I did for years, and it took me a while, but I figured it out and I got through it, and I did it with ease after I realized all the things and all the toxic habits and patterns that I had that was not supporting me. Excuse me. And I started to realize that these are the things I was going to have to shift, and I did, and it came with ease. But not everybody's in that space. Not everybody has the time and the dedication like I did, because I started in 2020, so I had time. If you, the time is now for you to understand and to know that you have to accelerate. You don't have 4 or 5 years like I did. You don't have that time period for you to sit here and ponder on it and figure it out. The time for you to start doing this is now. And so buying into like a person like me, buying a one-on-one, booking a one-on-one with me, and understanding, or buying my Soul to Grow Masterclass, which is only $47, will support you, for you to understand and getting a healthy foundation for you to switch, doing it with ease, supporting your body so that you're not sitting here suffering and feeling fatigued, and for you to vibrantly and energetically live into the lifestyle, and to not feel like you're doing this alone and have to suffer, because you don't. And so understand that you will have enough energy if you're doing what you need to do. You will have enough nutrients if you're doing what you're needing to do, but you have to understand how to do it for yourself. It's a learning process. You have to deprogram what you've learned before and reprogram your mind to what you want now. And a lot of people have children that are thinking about living in the lifestyle, and they don't know how to go about it. Excuse me. You have to understand that if you were, I'm trying to think of how to put this. If you were trained and you were programmed to do what you do, think the way you do, act the way you do, have the habits that you have, the food habits that you have, the products that you use, everything is marketing, from your family members to your peers to the TV, whatever else on the shelves of the commercials. All those things are programming. All those things are habits that you have learned and you've picked up from society, the world around you. So if you have children and you are sitting here and you are griping and groaning and complaining about the vegetables that you have to eat, if you're sitting here making yucky faces, if you've never introduced them to a vegetable, if you don't even eat vegetables yourself, the child's not going to want to eat it. If you don't eat fruit yourself, the child's not going to want to eat it. If you don't show them how good it is, they're not going to want to eat it. If you don't make it appealing to you or the child, you're not going to want to eat it, they're not going to want to eat it. So you have to understand that I'm not telling you just to go, your child doesn't even eat fruit, and go and buy a whole bunch of fruit and then just force them to eat it, or go buy a whole bunch of vegetables and force them to eat it. But you have to understand that there are so many different recipes that you can incorporate fruits and vegetables, and then to start getting used to it, get used to the taste, start enjoying it. Like, for instance, something as simple as you making homemade chocolate, you getting your child engaged with you, regardless of what age, because at any age, your child should be in the kitchen cooking with you to see how fun it is, to understand the process, to just see what's going on. And You could make your own homemade chocolate. You could get you some cacao powder, sweeten it up with some agave or something, make you some chocolate, and show them how to make chocolate covered strawberries. Dip your own strawberries. Get organic strawberries. That right there, if they don't like strawberries, it's a way to get them introduced to strawberries. And then as you start to move along, and they get used to eating strawberries. Let's say you made enough for a week. Now you start switching in. By 3 days in, you give them half chocolate, half not. You give them chocolate on the side with the strawberries, and you give them portions, and you just limit how much you're giving them for the sugar, just so they can get acclimated to it, so they can get used to it. Because fruits have their own natural sugars and they're sweet, but when you're used to eating junk, you're used to the alternative sugars. You're not used to the natural sweet sugar. So you're not going to like it at first if you didn't like it before. And so forcing is not going to work. What you have to do is to incorporate and to make it an enjoyable experience. And so just simple little things like that are going to support you. And it's really, really easy for you to do, but you have to have the mindset to understand that this is not going to be just a momentary diet thing. This is a lifestyle. You are getting to a point for you to stay here. You're not just getting here to do it and then just quit whenever in a year or two, however long, couple of months. You want to be here. You want to stay here to keep yourself healthy and also your child. And so the same thing where people love to say that, like, my kid doesn't eat this, my kid won't eat this. You have to find ways to incorporate it in, because at the end of the day, if you are going to live this lifestyle and want them to live that lifestyle as well, you can't just give up because they don't like it in the moment. You can't give up just because they tell you they won't try it. You have to start sliding, kind of just be sneaky. Like, you have to just start sliding it in there and be sneaky about it. Like, for instance, I have somebody in my life who her children do not like herbal tea. Like, her daughter does not care. Her son, he does not like herbal tea. And he will say it to you. He'll ask you, is that herbal tea? And she has to mix it in with other things that are sweeter. And when he tastes the sweetness and does not taste the herbal tea, he drinks it with no problem. And then later on, she can go back and be like, it had herbal tea in it. Like, see how good it can be. And he'll say, yeah, I like that. So it's just about the fact that, like, you have to work with not only yourself for you to stay in the lifestyle, but your child too. This should not be a painful situation where you're feeling like you have to fight with them. This should be something that you enjoy and they enjoy too. Just like we know when a child does not like broccoli, when they don't like, green beans and things like that, you coat it with a whole bunch of inflammatory dairy, a whole bunch of cheese, and then they love it and they eat it all. But rather, find a plant-based cheese for you to cover it with and to get them acclimated. Chop it up into small little pieces so that they can, coat it with more cheese than that, but make it a plant-based cheese just so they can get incorporated. And like I said, as you move along and the further that they get into the journey, that's when you start to lower and lessen more of the vegetable. Add more of the vegetable, less of the cheese. Like, you just have to start working with them and to understand that it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a process, and that's okay. So this was I think 6 or 7 plant-based questions that I had, common plant-based questions, because I feel like these are really, really common. And if you have any other questions that you would love for me to cover, you can always DM me. I'm posting this on my YouTube. If you are on YouTube right now, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave me a comment. If you have any questions, all my DMs are open on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can shoot me a question. All of my links are in my YouTube, my Instagram, my Facebook bio. All of my products are linked there. And if you do not see any products that I have talked about or that I've listed in the previous videos, like I say all the time, shoot me a DM. I probably just took it down and you can get the direct link to it. Doesn't mean it's gone. It's just I had to move it because I have other things that are in the works. And if you have not joined my healthy challenge, it is free. My healthy weight challenge for this month and maybe next month. I feel like I'm gonna tag it into next month, but just enjoy the process of you understanding that you have to support your body and enjoying this process together through our healthy weight challenge. It's for ladies only, so you don't have to feel insecure. Like, I'm showing my belly in there just to be like, look at this, like, progress for myself. I want everybody else to have their own accountability and progress, and for us to be able to support each other with questions and comments and just trials and error and give each other challenges for us to try. But just enjoy the process of you living a healthier lifestyle and developing one for yourself, because you deserve it. You really do. And we deserve real food, and to stop being treated as a product, as a consumer, but rather as a person. So I really, really hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'm going to drink me a whole lot of tea so that my voice can get better and I can stop sounding like this. And I really, really hope that you have an amazing day and let the Most High bless you with the day that you deserve.